let's play a game. All right. On the count of 3, name your favorite dinosaur. Don't even think about it. Just name it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Velociraptor.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
You want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup.
This is the Karate in the Garage podcast with Mason Merrill and Weston Toth. Welcome back to another edition of the Karate in the Garage podcast. I'm your host, Mason Merrill, and with me today for 3 weeks in a row is Weston Toth. How's it going, sir?
Going great. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm here today, so feeling pretty good.
I successfully went to the grocery store today and dodged hopefully all of the sick people.
Nice.
So I feel pretty accomplished.
Yeah. Is it hot down there in Austin?
Yeah, it was real hot today. Actually, it was like, man, I don't know, 90, something like that. I wasn't outside too much, and I keep my house like legit 67.
Yeah.
So it's really cold in my house right now, but it's definitely
it's pretty cool too.
Yeah, it's hot outside, but
yeah, it's been like 80s
goes.
here, like mid 80s. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, not too bad. I'm a little north of you, so it only makes sense, I guess. We're there, although they did have like a chance of snow, 1 to 3 inches of snow here on Monday, so that's interesting.
so crazy. Yeah, it's we probably have like what 10-15 degree difference most of the year.
Pretty much, yeah.
Except in like the really hot summers, it probably is about the same, and then you're just so much colder in the winter.
Yep. But I'm sure people don't want to hear too much about the weather, so.
Yep, true.
Weather in Texas,
Just the weather, wet weather and the corona. That's the only thing to talk about.
But I'm glad that you don't have the corona and that you were successfully able to dodge the corona, hopefully today.
Hopefully.
Oh, man, cool. Well, today we are talking Looney Tunes Basketball, and we said Aaron was going to join us last week again, but he's sick, so not with corona, but he's just not feeling good, so he is out today.
That's what happens when you just like are forced to sit inside and just like eat bad food and drink beer for like 3 weeks.
True.
Is your like one way or another, if it's not the corona, his regular just like habits got to him. There's no way.
Yeah. Like it's funny because like alcohol's in the whole shelter in place thing is considered essential, and that's one thing I've been really trying to stay away from is drinking a whole lot of alcohol with having to be inside so much, because it just wrecks you.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible for your immune system, which is funny. Yeah. But yeah, I know a lot of people they've been hitting it pretty hard because they're like, oh, it's nothing to do at 1 o'clock during the day. I'm bored, so let's break out the wine.
Yeah, 5 o'clock somewhere.
But I mean, I know both of our lives we've pretty much been going on, so
yeah. For sure.
It's not us, but I know Aaron, every time I talk to him, he's like, oh, man, just popped open a couple beers.
Good times. Yeah. Hey, whatever suits you.
Yeah, good for him.
Yep. Okay, cool. So some Looney Tunes basketball today. Yeah, this was a classic. I think this is another game we've played when we were a lot younger together as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've hit this one up together, but if not, we've definitely both, been able to play it. Like we've talked about playing it just either with each other or by ourselves.
Yeah. So this is Space Jam without the space, basically, and Michael Jordan.
Yeah, this is. I know we talked about it right before the podcast. This is, which I know a lot of people have played. This is NBA Jam on Sega Genesis. This is that game except with Looney Tunes.
Yeah, which I'm totally here for.
yeah, for sure. It was fun. It was pretty lighthearted. It wasn't super serious. It was. I do have to say, the computers were not very gentle.
No,
with me.
No, I lost a whole lot. I was trying to get us to like play together, but we couldn't line our schedules up this week. But yeah, for sure, it was not the best. I ended up winning a lot, but it took me a while to really get the hang of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like it just. The first couple times I was, even before, like, the first game I was just trying to get the controls, like, right. But, yeah, it was, as a lot of the SNES and NES games were back then, or, like, arcade games, is, the way they programmed it, they didn't make the computer act like a person. They made them, like, math questions. Like, how do I score points, and what exactly are we going to do?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. It was just like basically an algorithm that the player just kept going on and over.
Exactly. But it was, I don't know. It was a little hard, but it was still fun. Like I got the hang of it after a while.
Yeah, so this game came out in February of 1995 in North America, and it was produced. The publisher was Sunsoft, and developer was Sculptured Software, which I don't even know what's going on with those companies these days.
Yeah, I remember Sunsoft, but Sculptured. What was the last one? Sculptured Software.
Yeah, let's.
Oh, it was an Acclaim.
Mm-hmm. It was so yeah. They're still around.
Acclaim is.
Yeah, so it's kind of been consumed by Acclaim, I guess. But yeah, Sunsoft made a lot of different stuff, and I think they're still in business today.
It's a Japanese company, so
yeah. So cool. It was. This game was not based on the movie at all. It actually became like a year before the movie, so it was a totally independent thing. Sometimes they'll especially in that day, they would put out a game with the movie kind of thing. So it wasn't based on Space Jam at all.
Yeah, but it's funny that like you have this thing, and then you have like something like Space Jam that was so stinking popular and like a cult classic right now.
Yeah.
But they were thinking on it, obviously.
Yep, for sure. And so there were 10 characters: Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Elmer Fudd, Wile E. Coyote, Tasmanian Devil, Yosemite Sam, Sylvester the Cat, and Marvin the Martian you could play as. No secret characters.
Yeah, it was pretty straight up. What was your favorite character?
I played it as Bugs Bunny a lot because he was fast, and then I liked Yosemite Sam. He had a cool special move.
Nice.
And
yeah, I played Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, I played Martian a few times, yeah.
Nice. Oh, yeah, I always charge Martian as my my ally, my buddy. My number two.
Nice. Yeah, so anyway, with this game, it was built, like as we mentioned, a lot like NBA Jam in that 16-bit era. It just had the Looney Tunes twist on it, which made you could basically jewels would drop onto the court as you were playing as like a currency, and you could collect those jewels and then power up to a like a special unique character trait, character power, I guess I should say.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And so as far as the mechanics of this game, just like the gameplay and things like that, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty solid. Like, it took some finesse to kind of shoot the ball, and it had a real basketball-esque type game feel to it. It wasn't just like you run up to the net and dunk the ball, which you could absolutely do, but if you wanted to hit a three, it took a little extra finesse and things like that.
Yeah, it was anyone, like, again, like I said, like it was the basketball theme, and then also the like just the Looney Tunes kind of like arcade style stuff. But I ended up like dunking the basketball a lot, just straight up just running for it.
Yeah.
But once I got a little bit better, I was hitting the threes, and it really helped beat the computer because they didn't really do that.
Mm-mm.
So and then you could obviously really like steal the ball and do that as well.
Yeah, unless you were really just excellent on defense at this game, you had to keep shooting to keep up, So, I got myself in a couple of ruts.
Yeah, defense was not like defense was not a thing in this game. It's more like who can outscore the other one.
Yeah, and if you're too close to the goal, like even if you're not right under the goal, you jump to kind of try to block a shot, it would get you for goaltending a lot. So, you had to be careful. And I did reject it a few times, but it was definitely not the easiest to like steal the ball and things like that unless you had a special move that would just automatically do that for you.
It's funny because goaltending in NBA Jam was like the thing that got me the most, and it was in this game too.
Yeah, same thing. Yep. So it's kind of just the same structure as that 2-on-2 gameplay. This game was it was a Super Nintendo game. I don't know if they ever arcaded this, but I guess you could get the add-on and you could play 2-on-2. The controller add-on, so 4 total players could play the game at once, which is cool.
Yeah, like because most of the SNES games were 2-player, correct?
Yes, yeah, they only had 2 ports in them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But most games weren't even built for 4-player, but this one was.
Yeah. It was really like these kind of games, and then like the side scrollers that could include 4 people. Like there's that Avengers game at one point that was like adapted from an arcade, or the Ninja Turtles game. You could attach the 4-player attachment and things like that. Yep, and they had that little. I never had that attachment, but they had that little Nintendo thing you plugged into the back of it, and it would add 2 extra controllers.
I didn't have it either.
Yeah.
But
Yep. So, but as far as the graphics went with this game, how'd you feel about it?
they were fine. Like it
Mhm.
was, I think the animation was where it really shined. So I think
Yeah.
the animations were really fluid, which is great because they didn't really have that much to do background wise. Like they just set up a good, basketball stage, but the animations for all the characters were pretty fluid. So I thought it was fine.
Yeah, me too. I thought that was one of the very high points of this game is for that era. The sprites were really good. The background. It was kind of just a plain background, which they did a lot with these games, and then the goals.
Mhm.
And it would be just kind of a stationary background that the camera would move as the player moved, or the camera was focused on the ball, and so as the ball would move, the camera would move. And the only difficult part was when everybody was running it back, they would get ahead of you, and then you'd be off screen. You'd be like, "Come on, get back over here!"
Yeah, very true. Which
Yeah,
happens in a lot of other sports games too. So
yeah.
they've kind of been able to fix that now, but it's taken them 20 years. So for that to happen at that point in time, it was fine. It's still what happens a lot of times.
Yeah, and as far as the gameplay with the timekeeping, I thought the quarters were pretty perfect. They were 5 minutes each,
Mhm.
4 quarters, and then you'd have a little break at halftime, obviously, and then you'd just go right back into it. And and then you just keep shooting to win. Basically, it's like whoever can outshoot the other team at the end of it, and that's usually how basketball works. But anyway,
I think it does. I'm not sure though.
yeah. Anyway, but anyway, yeah, it was a good game. It was a lot of fun. The animation was really good. Like all the sprites were really nicely
Mhm.
made. Like their faces were really clear, and I think that was just the beautiful thing about Super Nintendo and just 16-bit in general. It just had a really nice flow to it and really smoothed things out a lot.
Yeah, very true. I completely agree. It definitely was a large upgrade, obviously, from 8-bit to 16-bit.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this game too is they it had enough complexity with the special moves and the animations where it was like, oh, that's fun. I hit him with the pie. I did the dunk in the basketball goal, where your entire body goes in type
Mhm.
deal. But then there wasn't it didn't try to do too much. It just did what it was trying to do well, which I always appreciate in any game. Is just
Yeah.
let's not overcomplicate it. Let's just make what we were trying to do just fun and engaging.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely. And like we were saying, it kept you interested with the finesse you had. It wasn't just like a random shot. Will it go in or not? You had to actually, if you line up and you push it and you're positioned in the right way, you would hit that 3 every single time. So it's kind of
Mhm.
stuck to that same formula with things like NBA 2K today. It's the same kind of thing, even though it's much more advanced. It's just the same. You got to push that button just right to hit that 3. So
Yep. Yeah. And it was at the height of the jump, which is most of other basketball games. So even back then, it was if you got it right at the height of the jump, you're gonna make it every time.
yeah,
It's
and
kind of
just
cool.
the character animations and how they reacted to things was really cool. It was kind of just like you're watching a Looney Tunes cartoon,
Yeah, kind of.
just playing the game, so just playing some street ball.
Yeah, pretty much. They had some cheat codes that you could use too, but I didn't use any of those.
I didn't either.
Yeah, which I know that it was kind of fun. If we would have probably played together, we could have messed around with that, but I didn't use
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it was just this game overall was just a solid arcade basketball game. If this was in an arcade,
Mhm.
2v2, it would be really fun.
Oh, tear those quarters up for sure. Yeah.
Oh
Really
yeah, for
fun.
sure.
Yeah. So cool. I think really the only gripe I had about was just which I have in every basketball game, was just being off the camera. But if you're
Yeah.
keeping up with the ball, you're not off camera. So that was probably more the user problem than it was the game problem.
Yep. And then only thing that I my gripe personally is I'm just a huge critic of music in general whenever in games, and the music was a little repetitive and it wasn't super great. It was probably on the lower end of music in my opinion versus especially some of the other games we've had some really cool soundtracks, and this one wasn't that great, but
Yeah, music, same here. Music wasn't great, but the sound effects in game were pretty
Yes.
good, and that made up for it. Like the jackhammer, it would sound like a jackhammer.
very true.
the ball would run around as like turn into like a little puppy and run around. So that was funny. And so the sound effects were good, but yeah, definitely agree. The music was just that era of like street ball, Looney Tunes music,
Yeah, I didn't love the
again.
music, but you're right. The sound effects were like, very, very nice. So that's very cool.
Yeah, so we talked about like last ability. How would you rank this game and just kind of replay of like holding out through the years kind of thing?
I think replayability is really good. Like it's probably, on average, if not a little bit better. It's like I said, it's one of those games that like if I saw even just like now, like I don't know, not like we're going to restaurants right now, but if there was a a game that I could just go and like, hey man, you want to go play a quick game of Looney Tunes? Like I would play this right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even if we were like hanging out, like four people playing together, hanging out playing together would be fun.
Yeah, totally. So
it's not like playing like some of the like NBA Jam's kind of its whole thing of its own, and that this followed suit to it to where it holds up. Like I'll still like a few years ago when NBA Jam came out for iPhone, I played that all the time. Yeah, I played that with your brother a lot too when I was living with your family.
Oh yeah,
nice. But like so the format of these games have really held up, and I thought it was great. Same here. Like I'd throw this on if we were just looking for something to do. Play
for sure.
4-player or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. So we covered the graphics, covered the gameplay, kind of what the game's all about, the sound. Is there anything else we're missing?
Yeah, we got replayability.
We talk about story, but there's no real story. It's just you're playing street ball on tour. You pick
story
a team.
Is 0 out of 0 because it's non-existent.
Yep, exactly. So.
But yeah, I think we covered everything. This was a real nice, just like in between game for us to kind of review and play. It didn't have like a ton of sustenance, but it had like I said, what it tried to do, which is just a fun multiplayer basketball game. It did well. Yeah,
for sure. So, are we gonna do basketballs to 10 out of, or how many out of basketballs out of 10, or what? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's fitting. I'm trying to think of anything different, but it's just basketballs, man.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna give this one a solid 7. I would say 7 out of 10.
Yep, I'm gonna go 6.5. I thought it was just like right at average, if not just like right there. It wasn't like the best game we've ever played by far, but it was decent for sure. It was solid.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to choose between this and NBA Jam, I'd probably play this just because of the cartoon ability of it. So.
Yeah, true. I haven't played an NBA Jam in a while, but maybe I'll have to do that and make that assumption. But either way, I think 6.5 and 7, very fair scores.
Yep. All right, cool. So moving on. There hasn't been a whole lot of news in the realm of gaming this week in general, other than Final Fantasy is dropping tomorrow, as this podcast will be released on Thursday. So it will be dropping tomorrow. And Final Fantasy VII Remake that we've been waiting for literally probably like 13 years on.
Oh yeah, it's I didn't play the demo. I know that you played it, but it'll be fun to play that tomorrow.
Yeah, are you gonna pick it up or?
I'm definitely gonna pick it up. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up tomorrow just because I need some time to invest into it. So maybe like this weekend. I'm just super busy with work right now, so I may need to just kind of chill out for a little bit and then be able to just do it this weekend. But I will pick it up for sure.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. Remember, I've never played that game all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched you play it. I've watched Ryan, your brother, play it. I've been around people playing that game a lot, but I've never played that game through. So this is my first experience with it. And like I said, I just want to make sure to be able to give it enough time to just sink it in rather than, just buy it and then play like an hour of it and just let it sit there.
Yeah, for sure. So this game is I hope it's going to live up to the hype, but just playing the little demo, I think it's going to be pretty good. And I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. I'm probably just going to be able to play it at night after the kiddos go to sleep, but I'm definitely excited to get into it because just the story-driven aspect of it is going to be so awesome to watch, it remade in those graphics and just driven with voice acting and things like that. So plus that first kind of demo for the PS3 they dropped, I think it was just the opening video, was kind of the taste of it. That came out in 2007, I believe. So literally this has been 13 years in the making. So,
I know.
It's been it's almost as bad as Kingdom Hearts 3 dropping,
Oh,
after so long.
Which don't say that, because I think this is gonna hold up a lot better than Kingdom Hearts 3 did. Even though even though our review was pretty mixed, like, and my emotions on that game were very like, wow, this is really fun and good, but there's a lot left to be desired.
Yeah. I think that would be the only thing that bums me out about this game, because this is like the first chapter. I don't know how many sections they're doing the game in, but this is kind of the first chapter of the original game. And so the only thing that would bum me out, if they put so much effort into making it so beautiful, they didn't extend the game time where I beat it in a few hours, or not a few, but, relatively quickly. And then there's they're promising end game content, which is, going to keep you playing, like side quests and things like that. But I know where the story's supposed to cut off with this game. So I just hope it like ends at a good spot, like story wise. I know kind of a roundabout area, and then we don't have to wait 10 years for the next chapter to come out. That would be a huge bummer too.
Yeah, the cool thing too is we'll be able to have an interesting review, because you're someone who's a hardcore original fan and has played that game, and then I'm someone that's literally never really played that game, and I'm coming in kind of like just with a new sense, so we can be able to have kind of two perspectives on it.
Oh yeah, for sure. That'll be something good to talk about. Like, I'm gonna love this story just because I loved the story of the original game, just because I had like so much connection to it. But like, you coming in, you could play it and be like, actually, it didn't live up to my hype. I don't know, kind of. So it'll be kind of that'll definitely be an interesting dynamic to talk about after you've played it, and I've played it a lot. So
yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's gonna be a fun one. So I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna get it. I might get it tomorrow. It just depends how long I have to work. But if I don't do it tomorrow, then I'll do it in the next week for sure. Because hey, man, we're just chilling out. The problem is, like I said, I've just been working too much, and it's too much other stuff to do. So I got to be careful with my time. We still gotta do stuff rather than sit at home and play video games all day.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. Yeah, no, you're a busy guy, especially springtime and pool season. So
yes, sir.
Yep, good times. Okay, man. Cool. Well, I think I'm just excited about that. Just wanted to talk about that for a minute since it's releasing. I hope everybody gets it and plays it and really likes it. So
yeah, absolutely. And hopefully everyone's just staying safe. I know we're going to kind of do a short one today, but we need to talk about what we're going to play next week. Are we going to do what was our other
Super
game?
Punch-Out?
Super Punch-Out. So I think we should just stick with that. You found something good?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I liked that one, and Aaron might join us next week for that one because he literally has like the Super Nintendo.
Oh, cool!
And has that on there. So that classic they released, he has that, and so he'll if he's feeling better, he'll join us on that one.
Yeah, hopefully
I
does
think we
feel
should
better.
stick with that. Yeah, cool. And then we'll figure out something. Maybe we'll get out of the Super Nintendo realm after that and play something else.
Yeah, man, it may be time to go to to do like a Dreamcast or a GameCube game again. Just kind of get something just a little bit newer, but not obviously. We don't want to get maybe into the PS2 realm. Well, actually, we could not PS2, but yeah, we could go a little bit newer because I know that obviously we want to stay retro. But at this point, Dreamcast, GameCube, those are retro games. So
yeah, I could. Yeah, I'd be down to play Sonic.
Yep.
If let's see, Sonic Adventure. That
Sonic
I don't know.
Adventure
With Final Fantasy coming out, I don't know if I can really give that one a good one until we're finished.
I know.
With Final Fantasy.
Very true. Because I mean that game's probably 15 hours at least, 20 hours.
Yeah, and I do actually want to play that game when I sit down to do it, so I don't want to be disconnected. So we'll do that one a little bit down the line, but we'll figure out something. Maybe we'll look in the PlayStation realm or something like that, since we haven't done a PlayStation game in a while. So.
Yeah, let's get away from NES though. After Punch Out, I'm gonna be kind of done with the 16-bit. And we'll have to get something newer, and then we'll come back to it.
Agreed. Cool. All right. So while we're in the PlayStation kind of realm, though, I just wanted they released the design on the new controller yesterday.
Yes.
PlayStation kind of just dropped it out of nowhere. It was just real I wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh, hey, what's up? New controller. And it looks pretty cool. What do you think? First impression.
It looks like it's going to be more comfortable to hold. It's a little bit more of like the Xbox style controller than and slowly, like the PS2 controller, like the PS1 and then PS2, they weren't very comfortable at all. PS3 was definitely more comfortable, and then this one looks like it's going in the right direction. But also like the lighting and the feedback that they're doing, like definitely, hopefully a step in the right direction.
Yeah, they kind of started this whitish kind of transfer to everything when they released the VR, because the VR really looks a lot like this controller. And I saw some memes online that was like the Rebel Troopers helmet, like, oh, I know I've seen this before.
Yeah, sure.
but yeah, no, it definitely, like you said, the bulkier Xboxy kind of feel to it, which, yeah, I'm definitely excited to find out. And then the triggers are going to have the haptic feedback just built into the standard one. Which that's going to be cool. The DualSense, you can feel the tension of your actions and, like shooting a bow and arrow and things like that as it brings out here. So,
yeah, which I will use for a lot of games, especially like adventure ones, but I probably won't use for anything multiplayer just because it's distracting. So like if you're playing immersive games, definitely really fun. But I know like for me, that's, and a lot of other people, if they're playing multiplayer, they're not going to be using some of those features. But it'll be fun either way. It looks like a good controller.
Yeah, I think like with the haptic feedback and stuff, like playing a game like a story-driven Spider-Man where he's swinging and stuff, like feeling that kind of stuff. I think that'd be really cool because, and Spider-Man 2 is coming down the pipe of PS5 at some point.
Oh,
they made so much money on that game. So,
well, it was just a great game. That's the cool thing. It was just a great game.
Yeah. So it's kind of just the same basic design as PlayStation's always had. The two control sticks and then the D-pad and the buttons.
Yeah.
And then the thing in the middle, obviously, that came with. Did they bring the pad in the middle in PS4 or PS3?
PS4.
It was? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the little touchpad in the middle, that's cool. So.
Yeah, and I think it's, again, that thing's supposed to do a lot more things than it does even right now, so.
Yeah, that's cool. And the thing about these controllers, they're cool because now you can use them with your phone. You can use them on the computer with like seamless connection and things like that. So, it's cool that these controllers are not only going to be, you'll buy a PS5, but you can also use it for other things too. So, if it's good, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yep. But yeah. So cool. White little change up of a standard controller. They haven't done that they don't think, like, since the gray one back in the PlayStation days. It's always been black since then.
I think it's good because they're trying to like very, very much make their image clean and new age and modern, and then they're obviously, like, Xbox is completely black, so they're gonna establish themselves as more of, like, I think the white, like, layout.
Yeah, it's cool. So I'm definitely excited. They had a press conference a couple months back, kind of talking about the PS5 specs a little bit. It looks pretty good. I mean, for a system, obviously, it's gonna have a pretty good drive behind it.
I mean, it should be good. Like, the biggest thing is it's both of the new systems are going to support ray tracing, which is like the next evolution of graphics and lighting and stuff like that. So, like, for instance, my PC right now, it's probably as powerful as any of these next generation these consoles are going to be. But as we know, like, specs matter a lot, but for some reason console games always play like better. They look better than like what a PC would do sometimes, like a high-end PC, just because the way that like console games are programmed. And you just get more out of them somehow, and they're just made for that sole reason alone. Because I mean, they're talking about like 12 teraflops of power and 120 FPS, like on a lot of games, which is pretty awesome. So it's pretty nuts, and like 16 like GRDD RAM for the graphics card, like 16 gigs, like it's pretty nuts. But the one thing that's going to be bad about that, not like we care because thankfully we're adults and we have money, but the consoles, I think the consoles are going to start out about $600.
Yeah, that's going to be wild because I saw a report that it takes $450 just to make it. So they got to turn, which on the PS4, they lost a lot of money on the system itself, but they made a bunch of money on the games. So it was kind of,
I was about to say, like, Xbox
averaged out.
Yep. Sorry. I was just saying, like, for the longest time, Xbox and Sony, Microsoft and Sony have lost money on their consoles to make the best one, and then they just make money on, like how many, like after they pass a certain million, then like obviously their manufacturing goes down, and they're selling still money on the games and accessories and stuff. So they're still making money, but the consoles themselves, like the last two, have cost more to make than they actually sell them for. But it makes sense for all the extra stuff that people have to buy in the games and this and that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, which, Sony's been kind of in a bit of money trouble lately with the PlayStation just in general. So it'll be interesting to see if they do actually live up to that $600 price range, because they are like, hey, we need money to make at least something on this, because, they most recently they closed down their television service, and, they were just losing a bunch of money on PlayStation 4 in general. So hopefully it's not, I would like to see it under 600, but it wouldn't shock me if it was 600.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, if it's going to be under 600, it's going to be like, I think it's going to be, or maybe the base one with like, not that big a hard drive will be like $500, but
yeah,
I think if you're going to get a terabyte of SSD and everything that you need, I mean, you're going to be spending $600 easy.
Yeah. Which, at that point, it's like you could just play it. I mean, they'll have these exclusives, which will be cool, but I'm still on the fence if I'm going to get it when it comes out, just because, it took, I got the PlayStation 4 when it first came out, and it took so long for it to ramp up original content and, really feel like I got the bang for my buck. It took like almost a year, because like I got mad and thinking, oh, it's going to be a new experience and this and that. And it was literally just ports of all the PS4 games. So, it for like the first year at least, there was nothing really huge that like got me that was like, oh man, this is awesome. So,
yeah,
it'll be interesting. Yeah.
I got my PS4 on like such a, like at the tail end.
Yeah.
I've only had mine for, man, what, like
a couple years. Yeah.
Couple years. So I don't know, like that's hard for me to say. Like you have a much better grasp on it, just because like I don't get them when they first come out, but times have changed with like manufacturing and like deadlines. Like people want their stuff now, and it doesn't really work anymore when it's like, oh yeah, we'll have all these games out in 2 years. Like it has to launch with something really, really promising, or else like that just doesn't work in our time. So I would be pretty surprised if there wasn't at least 2 or 3 titles that weren't worth picking up at launch.
Yeah, and that's really gonna be the kind of deciding thing for me. Is I'm gonna do that scope first before I jump in and like, oh, I got to get this, So
I know, and the Xbox like Series X is even less of a thing for me, because now with Xbox Game Pass, you can play all the Xbox games.
It's pretty cool on computer.
And I have a BA computer.
Yeah,
mine's so fast and nice right now that I can play all of these Xbox titles because I have the Game Pass, and the Game Pass is cheap too. It's not even expensive. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we'll have to wait and see.
That's one thing that PlayStation really needs to do, especially with like PS Now. They have I'm a Mac user, so that they have a Mac or a Windows compatible app for PS Now, but they don't have it on they don't have a PS Now app for Mac yet, so that kind of stinks. But just for those type of things in general, and then obviously Xbox, they're not going to do a Mac app either for their pass.
No, definitely not.
No bueno. So anyway, but so anyway, I'm excited to see what it brings, if they are actually going to end up launching it this year because of all this pandemic stuff that's going on, with just
how could they,
production,
with manufacturing and production?
Yeah.
Like I would, unless they have basically already been producing them, and then, which is very possible, like it's already done.
Yeah.
They're just making them right now and just getting up, their stock.
Yeah, I just can't see Sony being that ahead of the game though. Just with past years, So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it's just with everything going on, movies, everything's being pushed back 6 months at least. So I would think 2021 would be the year that we're going to see this.
Yeah, that is the beautiful thing about like gaming titles though. Like you're not going to the movie theater to play games, So a developers putting out games right now are really probably killing it because everybody's buying the new games right now, So just as long as this thing goes on, Avengers is coming out later in the year, it might give it might even be good for them because it'll give PS4 a little bit more ride with some of those newer titles that are coming out right now before the release of PS5.
I know. Hopefully, like, there's not too much red tape in just like office space because most people are working from home, which is great, and you think a developer could do that, but they still, in bigger companies, they still have to get together and have freaking just board meetings and a bunch of red tape. So hopefully, at least some of the mid-range guys are still producing awesome games.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too, and a lot of the games coming out this year are already done. At this point, and
True. Yeah,
it's all marketing campaign. At this point, like it's all marketing, and usually a lot of marketing stuff can be done remotely. So, especially with just being able to drop downloads and make money,
Yeah,
so,
very true.
It's pretty cool. The world we live in is kind of a crazy place right now, but also the digital world is pretty cool.
Yep, it is. Yes, sir.
Also, speaking of digital world. We've talked about Digimon and how our love for Digimon on this podcast. They dropped on Crunchyroll. They're simulcasting the reboot of the original series, and I watched that the other night. It was pretty good.
Yeah, is it worth getting to?
Yeah, I would check out the first episode for sure. I'm going to keep watching. Obviously it's not English dubbed, but it's subtitled in English, which is cool.
Yeah, I like sub. I watch a lot of subs, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it didn't bother me watching it for that. The animation's so good, and they've changed. I think I can kind of see where they're going to go with the story, but they changed the way it started, which is interesting. So, it's not just them showing up to summer camp and getting stricken into the digital world. There's like a little bit of a backstory they're building up to with like, hey, they were friends and they kind of knew about Digimon before they got sucked into that world and things like that. So, there's a little bit more to it than just kids meeting at summer camp, which was not really the actual story because of the movies and stuff that came out, but that's the way it was presented at first,
Oh, very cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, it's definitely worth checking out. Yeah, check it out. Maybe we can talk about it a little bit next week or something. But I just kind of want to get your thoughts on it as a fellow fan of the franchise.
Yeah, I've had it on my list too, but I had a Crunchyroll subscription, but I let it lapse. So I need to kind of re-energize it so we could do that.
Yeah, what's cool about this too is it's going to be released for free on Crunchyroll, like 2 weeks after the original air date of each episode. So if you wait a couple weeks, you can just watch it for free. Yeah. So let's see, what is today? Yeah. So this one comes out on the 11th for free. So this weekend it'll be up for free if you want to check it out for that.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Check it out.
Yep. Cool. All right, man. Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about? I think that's it for us this round.
I don't think so, man. Yeah. Just happy to be back for another week, and we'll definitely be continuing on this hot streak of podcasts.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been going pretty good. This is a shorter episode today, and we didn't really come prepared with too much trivia or anything like that. So we don't have to do that every week, but maybe next week we'll pit either you and I against each other, or if Aaron joins us, you and Aaron against each other or something.
Yeah, I mean, you're the champ, and I like obviously I did it by myself, so I may have to verse Aaron, and then whoever wins that, because he's in the losers bracket right now.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, cool. All right, man. Well, unless you have anything else to say, I'm done here.
All right, guys.
Later. Bye. If you'd like to send us a message, you can email us at kitgpodcast@gmail.com or tweet us at kitgpodcast on Twitter.